Have you ever told yourself just one more level, only to realize an hour has passed? You're not alone. Video games are designed to keep us engaged. But how exactly do they manage to hold our attention for so long? Today, we're diving into the science behind game addiction. We'll explore the psychology of gaming, how reward system works, why indie games can be even more addictive, and whether all of this is necessarily bad. Finally, we'll talk about the importance of game balance and how good design can make or break a gaming experience. Let's start with the basics. Why do people play games? According to research by Richard Bartle and later expanded by psychologists like Nick G, players are motivated by different psychological needs. Some common motivations include the need for achievement, like leveling up and unlocking trophies, the desire for social connection, such as playing with friends online, the urge for immersion in a fantasy world, the need for autonomy, where players want control and choice, the challenge and satisfaction for mastering a difficult skill. The self determination theory, a well established psychological model, explains that games fulfill three key human needs: competence, feeling effective and skilled; autonomy, feeling in control of choices; relatedness, feeling connected to others. Games are powerful because they check all three boxes. Research published in journals like Motivation and Emotion shows that when games meet these needs, players experience a high level of enjoyment. And that's what keeps them coming back. One big reason games keep us playing is because of rewards. Game makers use a smart system called variable reward schedule. This idea comes from psychology, based on Skinner's experiments with pigeons. In this system, rewards are given at random times. Because you never know when you'll get the next reward, like rare loot or special items, you keep playing, hoping the next one is the big one. Games give different types of rewards, such as point or experience, in game money, new levels or items, rare loot box prizes, cool looks for your character. These are often linked to progression systems that make you feel like you're getting better or moving forward. But here's the catch: games don't always reward you in a steady way. The surprise is what makes it exciting, just like in slot machines. Research in Frontiers in Psychology shows that this reward system triggers dopamine in the brain, which is linked to pleasure and even addiction. Indie games don't have big budgets like AAA games, but they still grab players in smart ways. Instead of fancy graphics or massive content, indie developers often focus on unique art styles, emotional stories, fun and creative gameplay, talking with the player community. Here are a few examples. Stardew Valley hooks players with a relaxing loop of farming, social interaction, and daily tasks. There's always something to do tomorrow, which keeps you coming back. Hades has fast fighting and a cool story. Each time you lose, the game gives you new story parts and talks with characters. So even losing feels like progress. Undertale makes you care about the story and the choices you make. Your choices really change what happens. So you want to play again and try different things. These games make you want to play because the game feels good or means something, not just because you get rewards. This is a big question. Addictive mechanics can be harmful, but not always. Let's define what we mean by addictive. In clinical psychology, addiction is when a behavior causes harm or interferes with daily life. Most players don't meet that definition. That said, some mechanics can encourage unhealthy habits, such as endless screen loops with no real end, predatory monetization, fear of missing out. But not all engaging mechanics are harmful. Some addictive features are simply compelling. They provide a flow state, challenge, or sense of progress. Researchers like Dr. Andrew Przybylski and Dr. Daniel King argue that the context matters. A mechanic becomes harmful when it pushes players into compulsive use or preys on psychological vulnerabilities. The goal should be healthy engagement, not manipulation. So, where does that leave us? Game balance is about more than just difficulty or fairness. It's about emotional and psychological balance. A well designed game respects the player's time and well being. A few principles of healthy design include clear goals and feedback, clear progression systems, optional breaks or reminders to stop, transparent reward structures, ethical monetization practices. Developers can choose to create experiences that are immersive, rewarding, and responsible. And as players, being aware of these mechanics helps us make more conscious choices. The takeaway: game addiction isn't about weak willpower, it's about powerful design. And by understanding how the design works, we can enjoy gaming more and more responsibly. I have to be honest, before working on this video, I didn't know much about the science behind game addiction. I used to think it was just about people playing too much or not having enough self control. But after researching this topic, I realized how complex and intentional game design really is. I hope this video helped you too. If you found it interesting, let me know in the comments. And if you've had your own experience with addictive games or strategies for staying balanced, feel free to share them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.